Shalom. Once again, first and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmi Avashai Bashem Arakak Wadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught me this truth, and including the bishops as well. And Yahweh Bashmi Avashai Brakafam to the rest of the believers that sincerely preach this ministry, whom is the 144,000, and as well as to those that sincerely follow it, whom is the 1/3, and it's your brother Laban. And I want to speak about this most definitely in regards to Bible prophecy, the prophecy that we keep speaking about over and over again, because it's that important to speak about it. You know, as it is written that the watchmen are to give the warning. That's the job of a watchman. All right. And, you know, as this reads over here, the future is going to be weird. It says Elon Musk predicts brain chips will eventually replace phones. Now, reading this title of the article here brought me back to a video that I did, and I'll put that on the on the video so you can see. And if you want, you can check that video out. And in that video, I'll go into how you've had men which were in the tech world, you know, years and years ago, that have you know, said that basically one of the days which will come, and I'm just saying it in my words, I don't remember to be exact what he said, but he basically said that the time is going to come when technology is going to be under the skin, and as well as somebody else mentioned the same thing, okay, quite similar, which is the CEO, if I'm correct, the CEO of Nokia. He said the same similar thing. All right, that the phone, which is what we have in our hands, that we use on a day-to-day basis, is going to be under the skin. Okay, so Elon Musk, he's saying he's predicting that this will be the case, but he's not predicting anything. This is something that he already knows because he's in the field of the tech world. So obviously he's an insider and he would know that. All right. And that's why they've also paid this guy off to create the Neuralink setup that he's created, because the goal of the elite is to have everybody stamped perpetually with the mark. So as it reads, the future is going to be weird. Elon Musk predicts brain chips will eventually replace phones. Will cell phones exist in the future? If you trust Elon Musk, founder of the brain implant company Neuralink, and you might be inclined to think this technology will become obsolete. Now, Neuralink, we know, means, you know, neuron link, because, again, that is the goal of the elite. They want to neuronically, that's the word I made up, that's not even the word, connect you with the government through AI. This is why down here in the UK, the former Prime Minister, Tony Blair, he's been on this tour of pushing the idea pushing the idea, Salakia, pushing the idea of digital ID and AI all around. And as well as commanding Carl Starmer to bring that to effect with the IDs. Okay. So this is what's on and popping with the elite. This is something that has already been in the books long ago, and now they're not dragging their feet like they used to with this, because they're running out of time, so to speak. All right. And just like I said in my last video concerning Donald J. Trump, he's going to definitely be the president if he gets in there, to make sure that the American people are stamped with the stamp of approval of society, which is the mark of the you-know-what. Okay? He ain't moving any differently than the previous presidents which came before him. He's going to dance to the tune, just like they've all done. All right? The same way. So, what I also want to do is, I want to play this woman. Her name is Nia Farahani. She's an Elamite. And this was the woman that was speaking about how the government wants to get into your mind. And it was called the Battle of Your Brain campaign, or speech, excuse me. It was a battle for your brain speech, which she gave, and showing that. Okay, so all of these neuroscientists, those that are in the tech world, they all know the game plan. They all know what's going on, and this and by the way, just to let you know how they were on schedule, because this was brought out a year ago. So they're pushing this thing, man. They're giving you the idea that one of these days you will have an implant besides your phones.
We know and track virtually nothing that's happening in our own brains. But in a future that is coming much faster than you realize, all of that is about to change. We're now familiar with sensors in our smartwatches to our rings that track everything from our heartbeats to our footsteps, breaths, body temperature, even our sleep. Now, consumer neurotech devices are being sold worldwide to enable us to track our own brain activity. As companies from Meta to Microsoft, Snap, and even Apple.
Yeah, which are all governmental funded based corporations. And just like she said, she said something that was very key. Now on your phone, you can actually monitor how many steps that you've taken throughout your journey. Basically, your phone is nothing more than a tracking device, which will be under the skin, as well as what the CEO of Nokia said. So they'll be able to track your every move and the thoughts that you have in mind and all of these various things. So they'll have your whole life measured out. Hence is why it's called the biometric way of technology. Bio meaning life and the word metric meaning to measure. So they're going to be able to measure out every single aspect as to who you are. Because these devils are paranoid and they need to get inside your brain to know what you're thinking. All right? And if they can get inside your brain, they can mitigate on what you're thinking. They can control what you're thinking instead. And that they can be the driving force behind your will. Or let me say it even differently. They can implant their will onto you. Just like how the scripture says, right? Man's goings of the Lord. They want to be able to, again, move the Most High from his position and controlling you as he's supposed to, because he created you. And they want to do the same thing. All right. But you see, it ain't going to go that far. It's only going to go so far in the sense of them initiating this mark on a mandatory scale. And that's when everything else is going to kick off. All of the rest of the other end time prophecies are going to kick off. That's as far as it's going to go. All right.
Begin to embed brain sensors in our everyday devices like our earbuds, headphones, headbands, watches, and even wearable tattoos. We're reaching an inflection point in brain transparency.
Right, brain transparency. And this is where Neuralink comes from. This is where Neuralink is coming from. He's the vessel that's going to get you to reveal all that's in your mind. And it's going to be on a digital data to where your government can access and all of that stuff. Just like when you watch the film 1984, right? Where the boy was able to read this man's mind. And the boy said, "You're a thought criminal." So the elites, they'll be able to do that. They'll be able to read what you're thinking. And if you're thinking anything which is against the status quo that they set, then guess what? You're going to be considered a thought criminal. And by the way, this same woman, she spoke about that on the Battle for Your Brain speech that she gave, I think 2 years ago. All right. So this thing is very real, man. This is not a joke. When we tell you that the mark is coming, we mean business. We're not coming from a place where we're playing games here. Okay. Why would we play games with the scriptures anyway? You don't play with the Most High. Psalms 37 and verse 12 now. The wicked plotteth against the just and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. And what is the plot? The plot is to have us under a perpetual blot, which is to be marked. Let's read this. Sirach 11 and verse 33. Take heed of a mischievous man, which is a man of trouble, for he worketh wickedness, lest he bring upon thee a perpetual plot. So this is the reason why you have to learn the truth. Because when you learn the truth of it all, you learn who you are and you learn who your enemy is. And then you find out in prophecy what your enemy is going to do. So therefore, you're able to what? Be on the ready for what your enemy is going to do. And therefore, you move differently to avoid that. All right? You coming under his perpetual blot. Which means that he's going to put a perpetual stain upon you or a mark on you. And that perpetual mark is going to be the mark of you know what. This is Revelations 13 and 16. And he caused of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of this name. So you have chips for the arm, and as well as you have chips for the brain, which the forehead is in front of. Okay, so once you receive this mark, again, going back to the scripture over here, which is the perpetual blot, which is a perpetual stain, indicative of the mark of sin, right? So when the angels come back, and as well as Yahushua comes with them, or should I say first, when Yahushua comes back with the angels, guess what? They're going to see that mark upon you, which is the mark of the you know what, the mark of this system, which this system is symbolic of sin anyway. Therefore, you're going to be destroyed. Okay? If you get what I'm saying. Revelations 14 and verse 10. The same shall drink of the wine of wrath. Let's go up a bit. Right. And the third angel followed him, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, right? The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So that's going to be your destiny if you receive that mark coming on, or should I say under that perpetual blot that the wicked have devised upon you. All right. So again, we have to take good heed when they speak about this stuff over here. Since that we don't want to take this thing, okay? And many other things that these devils be talking about, because it's all leading up to their goal and their agenda at large, which is to destroy this world and to come with a new world order where technology will be the rule over many lives, and that the powers that be above the technology will be able to control you with. So that's all I got to say with this. I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai Bashim Arakak Radash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone